Hey everybody, good evening and welcome to Divine Disbelief. We are your home for secular news and opinion here on YouTube and in podcast form. I am Susan.
And I'm Nathaniel, and I found my headphones.
Yay!
They're next to the camera. Right there. My other headphones, my in-ear earpiece.
He was looking for those yesterday. He texts me and he's all like, have you seen my headphones? And I was like, oh, they're on the coffee table. Yep. And he's all like, no, they're not. And I'm all like, I literally just saw them. And he's all like, oh, no, I'm in my earbuds.
Yeah, she saw these, my Astros. So these are like my gaming ones for Xbox.
You know there's still plastic on there, right?
You can tell how often I use the microphone.
Can I peel the plastic off?
Yes, you can peel the plastic
later?
off.
Not right now. I'll peel
later,
it off
okay.
Later.
And so I use these for like Microsoft and when I'm playing like GTA 5. And then I have these, which are PS4 and what I use for this. Mm-hmm. And then I have my Samsung Level On over-the-ear Pro Bluetooth ones.
Yeah.
Which ended up working out really well yesterday because I ended up listening to a bunch of music. And while I was like cleaning some of the apartment and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good time. But I was looking for my Jaybird Run in-ear headphone so I could listen to it while I was...
Those things are fancy.
Yeah, they are. I mean... everything I have is fancy.
Yeah, that's true.
All of my stuff is fancy.
Yeah.
So welcome in. It is episode, she reminded me today, episode
26.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Okay, 26. Look at me, I'm learning French.
I don't think that's French.
I don't. You know what?
I have a sneaking suspicion.
From what I understand from like the limited amount of Spanish that I took in high school. Mm-hmm. Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Italian are all basically the same language. They're interchangeable. You can say, Madrid spaghetti and you're good.
I don't think that's true.
You know what I know that they all know in every language, though?
What?
Is fuck Bolsonaro, whatever that guy's name is down in Brazil.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty certain that's like a universal love language right there.
Basically.
Is the love language. It's like, fuck that, dude. My phone just go off and tell me that we're live?
Mine did.
My phone went off and told me that we're live. And also, Matt Dillahunty just put up a debate as well. He just uploaded a video. So you should go watch that after you get done watching this.
Well, it just said now live on your channel for our email address, which I've never gotten that before. They've never sent that to us.
Dillahunty versus Dyer. So.
Oh yeah, I kind of want to watch. I don't know. I kind of want to watch any of the debates that he does. Yeah. Like I like. I like debate formats, and I'm sort of realizing more and more. Like I was watching this last Sunday's Atheist Experience earlier while I was at work.
The 3-hour one?
I didn't actually finish it, so I don't remember. But the one with Andrew Seidel.
Yeah, I hear he's a good guy.
He's awesome, and I adore Andrew Seidel, so...
Might be reading some of his stuff tonight while we're on.
Oh, yeah.
Live. I tweeted at him, he didn't respond, so I'm just going to take that as a yes.
As long as we credit him, it should be good.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain he can't say, no, don't read my stuff.
Don't give me publicity for my book.
Dare.
But yeah, I dig Andrew. He's good people.
But you're interested in like the debate format and stuff.
Yeah, because me personally, and I know you are very, very different from this, I've never been good at debating. I'm not good at it.
You're right, I am different.
Which is why I say I know you're different.
100%.
I don't think quickly on my feet.
No.
If it's something I'm knowledgeable about, I can talk to people, but if I can't argue with people about stuff. I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
I'm better at some sort of like a paper.
I will tell you this, your commentary during videos is phenomenal. I really enjoy it.
How do you mean?
Well, you have like comments here and there, and it's not
like while we're doing like Periscope?
Periscope, but also like when we watch videos on YouTube and stuff, and then somebody's saying something that's just asinine, and you make little comments here and there. And I think those are really, instead of watching like what's on the television, because we'll stream it to the TV. or something like that, or even like on the, something from when we're driving, your commentary is sometimes better than the actual video itself. So I appreciate that.
That's a humongous compliment.
Well, there you go.
Especially coming from you.
Oh,
well. Because like, obviously I very much value your opinion and your input on stuff.
That will be the end of you.
Obviously. But like, that really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Oh, I love you.
Speaking of debates, I have a debate coming up October 10th.
Yes.
Up at Rogers State University with my good friend Dean Meadows. He and I will be debating, of all things, the thing we already debated before. Did the resurrection of Jesus actually happen? And I have to say, Susan, no, it did not.
I am definitely in the no camp as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also have you talked to him? Because I know when you did your previous debate.
That was fun.
That was
on the non-sec show, but I can go watch
non-sec.
that. That was back in April, I think.
Yeah.
It was. Oh wait, it was Easter
because it was
weekend.
Easter weekend. Yeah, because I was gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can go watch that on non-sec show.
But I know you and he would comment or would communicate.
Yes.
a fair amount.
Yeah.
So actually, because this tickles me to death, tell them. When we were in the car and he called you, I think it was when we were coming
we were
back,
going to
or coming back from a doctor's
appointment.
appointment.
We were going to one of your doctors. I had picked you up from work. We were going to one of your doctor appointments, and Dean called me on the phone. And we both laughed at this too. It was really funny. He said like mute the conversation. We laughed. And hey Levi, welcome in. And Dean said, hey, I tell you what. And I'm not quoting him here, but this is the gist of it.
Paraphrasing.
Yep. You give me one of your best arguments, and I'll give you one of mine. And I said, no. Right? I was like, I'm not going to do that. The reason why, and Susan knew this at the same time. Hey, Banana Jr.
Oh, it's Banana. Hi,
Banana. And I said no to him. And the reason why was because we already know, and Susan and I had this conversation immediately after we got off the phone.
Yeah, I was all like,
Yeah, Susan and I already know and knew, and still know today, everything that he could say. All of the talking points of anybody that's in like the yes resurrection camp, of which Banana Jr. is apparently from the Flying Spaghetti Monster. So kudos to that. And we both thought the same thing. And it was really funny because then we went into this debate knowing what he was going to say. Mm-hmm. And even though she wasn't here, it went the way we thought it would. Mm-hmm. And which was actually kind of funny because almost a month later, I was on Surris's channel. Mm-hmm. I haven't spoken with Surris in a few weeks. I
watch his live streams fairly often.
Yeah.
He sorry, I'll finish your story. Yeah. I'll talk about that in a second.
I haven't spoken. I miss him a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm talk to him again. But I was with debating somebody that goes by. He's from Sweden. His by the name of Epichrist.
Oh God!
And
I forgot about this.
You remember this? And I've had people message me about this since then. By the way.
Yeah.
And said the same things Dean said. There was the way they go about it with the resurrection and stuff like that. And I he got to go first because you're in the affirmative camp. You go first, right?
Right.
And and I got my opening or whatever on Surris's channel, and I said, yeah, I didn't really think he was gonna do that. So I'm just gonna yield my time to him to have him explain.
To clarify.
Yeah, and he was like, and that's how the debate went.
That was a hot fucking mess.
That hurt my feelings, how bad that was.
It was bad.
Oh, he started talking about elephants going through mountains and shit.
It was bad.
And I was like, dude, I actually did get one thing wrong in the debate, but that didn't matter because it didn't change the overall. No. And so I am excited to be going back and going up to Oklahoma here in the next month and a half.
Yeah.
And meeting up with Dean and actually being at Rogers State up there, being hosted by the Secular Student Alliance there.
And that's really cool.
Yeah. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Yeah, Doc obvious. That was a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
oh,
Doc
dumpster
definitely
fire.
knows.
Let me just let you know. There are dumpster fires that are like, oh, that's a little bit much. That one was... There were people that were like, I don't have enough like faces or palms during that. It was
bad.
It was very bad. And I realized that he had like, because he's Swedish, and so he had like a bit of a language barrier. And so there were people that were commenting, saying stuff, and I was like, stop with that. English isn't his first language. But
there were also people, and I think you and I both thought this initially as well. Oh yeah. Yep, banana epichrist, yeah. You and I think both initially thought that we were being a little harsh at first.
Yeah.
Because we were like, oh no, like we and this is not meant as like please don't get me wrong, this is not meant to make light of anything at all. I think we both legit thought that he had some sort of mental disability.
When he was
so
chatting,
at first we were like, we don't want to be dicks to this guy. And
that was actually a conversation we had.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh no, he has no mental disability. There's a language barrier, and while we're not going to mock him for not being able to speak English as well as everybody thinks that they should, but also you try being bilingual, seriously.
Yeah. If you're in Europe, usually more trilingual at least.
But like, it's like, oh no, I felt a little bad for making an assumption at first.
Yeah.
I did, and I still kind of do.
The conversation we had, do you remember I was laying in bed with you, and I was laying there, and I said, because I was actually starting to get like a little bit, I get like a little tense before debates and stuff like that.
Oh, very much so.
And I was like, what if he uses all this stuff though? He's really good. And I was like trying to figure out if he's actually going to use this stuff. And
I'm just like,
she was telling me he's going to be fine.
I was like, you're going to be good. There's no way he's going to use any of the arguments that Dean used. because, well, I mean,
And then he did, and I was like, what? Because that was the thing. Not to use the stuff that he gets from, for me having a debate in a month and a half, I should know these things. But the stuff that he gets from, like, McDowell and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, and Mike Lacona. And I was sitting there going, because that was in the conversation we had on Twitter where I was like, you're not going to use this, are you? And he was like, yes. And I said, please don't.
It's like, that's a bad idea.
That. Yeah.
No, but I do remember, sort of only mildly backtracking, because the debate that you had was the Saturday, right? With Dean?
Yeah, it was...
Or Friday.
Friday
it was
night.
Friday.
It was Good Friday.
Yeah, it was Friday because you called me, like, I had gotten there and you called me Thursday.
Yeah.
And...
It was back in April. She was up in Cincinnati for the American Atheist National Convention.
And... Or was it Friday morning? It might have been Friday morning that you called me.
I don't know, babe. All I remember is you coming back from the airport, sexy as fuck.
Sorry. In my black non-believers shirt.
It was, yeah. I was making out with her in the middle of the airport. It was hot.
But I remember you called me, and you're just all like, well, what if he does this? What if he does that? What if he does this? What if he says these things and all these things? And I'm like, okay, every single argument he's going to make. You already knew this before you did any of this research.
Yeah.
Have something written for each of them.
Yeah.
So that, you can expand upon it as much as necessary, but, just cover all your bases. And then you're all just all like, yeah, there's stuff I didn't use.
Oh my God, the entire fucking introduction.
Yeah.
Because remember, I used like 15 seconds to like be befuddled that he used the argument he used and to say,
No, I'm talking about with Dean.
Oh, with Dean? Oh,
with
yeah.
Dean when you call him.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, with Dean, you're right, because I wrote, and if anybody would like, by the way, to my introduction with if you go back and watch the non-sex show with Dean and myself, The Resurrection of Jesus, we each had, I think, 15 minutes or something for opening.
Something like that.
And I didn't use all of my introduction.
No.
So if you would like that, you can simply send us a DM on Twitter. I'll send you my entire introduction. It is long, and there's a lot of detail in it.
Yeah.
And I remember with Dean at the end of our debate, and I still laugh about this too, to where I said, Dean, is it more probable that a person would die and stay dead or rise from the dead? And he said, rise from the dead. And I responded, I said, you and I have different definitions of probability. And that was the end of that was like the end of the entire debate.
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, well, because it started getting like over like Joseph of Arimathea and like biblical shit.
And some stuff that's like not even really applicable, right?
Yeah, it wasn't, and that's kind of my fault that I let that happen. I think people enjoyed the Epichrist one more because there was a point, and this is not the book that I had, but this is, by the way, is The Founding Myth by Andrew Seidel. If you would like to purchase that, you can get it on Amazon. I recommend it.
Or you can buy it, I think, straight from the FFRF, and it'll be signed.
Signed, yeah, good job. But during the Epichrist one, where I quoted something from a book, and he said, what book was that from? And I grabbed it, and I said, this one. And I read it from the page, because I had it, because everything that I quote, I have the citation.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that people know about me, and I'm tooting my own horn a little bit here, but it's like every single thing that I say when it comes to any topic, to where it includes a quotation or a statistic or something like that, I have the receipt for it.
Yeah, you come prepared.
Every time. And I held up the book. And it was by James Tabor, who, by the way, is I think he's a evangelical Jewish person or something like that. He's an archaeologist.
Yeah.
But I held up the book, and I was like, it comes from this. Research him, and I remember that. That I think of everything that I've done like so far and stuff like that. That probably was the moment where I was like, well, this one's over, because I could just like reach over and pick up my resources. I have them, whether they're, I have some stuff by by Richard Carrier, and Richard Carrier, of course, is a mythicist, which I am not. Susan is, and some of his stuff with like mythicism and stuff like that. And then I have Bart Ehrman stuff. Actually, Bart Ehrman stuff is just sitting on the floor right over there next to Susan. I think over there is what, When Jesus Became God is the one?
I believe so, yeah.
And I'm sitting here like, that was when I realized, I realized the debate was over at the very beginning when he did the argument he did at the beginning.
When it's all like, well, that was nonsense.
Yeah. But whenever I was like, this is the book that I used for this particular thing. And it was about some of the Maccabees and the Maccabean prophecies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And these are things that I just like, you okay?
Yeah, I popped my jaw.
Oh,
and
ouch.
it hurt.
But so get this book, though. It's very good. It's called The Founding Myth, Why Christian Nationalism is Un-American by Andrew Seidel.
Now, who was the one, and I realize this is all just a bunch of Twitter drama that we're talking about, and I really don't care, because I find this stuff really interesting, because I view it from a distance.
I agree.
Who is the guy, I know Mr. Atheist did a video on him, that was challenging everybody to debates, and he's all like, I have a 400-0 debate record, and like always wanting to debate people. Was that the one who we got
he got
kicked off of Twitter?
Yeah, he's back now, by the way, under Red Pill Religion. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is an
Can we get him
person.
kicked off again?
I think
Jonathan something?
Yeah, the things that he's saying, especially like the Shannon Q and stuff like that, are just horrible. He's not okay.
Well, and so I watched the video where Mr. Atheist, where Jimmy Snow goes into like detail on, like he like did research on him and stuff.
Yeah.
His channel at the time, and I think this was less than a year ago, his channel at the time had 7 subscribers.
Yeah.
And he was like trying to get somebody to set up a debate between him and Richard Carrier. And I was like, why do you think Richard Carrier wants anything to do with the debate with you?
Yeah, he's just like hanging out. Like Richard Carrier's like, why not?
He's just hanging out on the sidelines, just like, I have nothing better to do here. Let me debate this random fuckhead. Like,
that's kind of like part of the thing where it's
master
like,
apologist.
Oh God,
that's what it was. There we go.
Jeez, or is that apologist supreme? I think is what it was at one point as well.
Yeah.
Just some nonsense more than anything else.
Like he just thinks so highly of himself, and I'm just like,
he was on Nonsec as well with Vosh.
Yes, I remember, because I remember watching that and just getting so upset because he, like, if I remember correctly, he just fucking kept interrupting everybody.
Which is what he does.
And he did, all of his arguments were nonsense. And it's all like, of all the people you want to debate, like, you want to debate Vosh? Like, I don't know him very well, but I know Vosh knows his stuff.
Yeah. He just kept quoting people. As if that was an argument. Like, it's not an argument. You have to be able to form your own argumentation, and you can base it on some things people have said, which is what I do, which is what any person that actually wants to have this type of argumentation with, a different interlocutor and be able to perform well is to take a bevy of quotes, a bevy of historical facts, in our case especially here, and to then present an argument based on those instead of just quoting those people. And that's not what he did. Yeah. He said, well, if this person said this, and this person said this, and this person said this, then they're all right. And I'm like, well, that's not the argument you create. You can't just take little snippets. And he was, by the way, he was quoting the books and stuff and the pages and everything, which, good on you for that, I guess. But it's like, okay, so what is your projection from this? And
like what have you gleaned from this information that is actually some form of like coherent thought? And he has none of it. He's horrible at it. But he says he wins every single debate because everybody just ends up so fucking frustrated that they throw up their hands and walk away cursing him. And it's like, that's not a win, dude.
Then he said some really horrible things on Twitter and got suspended.
Yes, I remember. I actively like reported every fucking tweet he sent because every tweet he sent was terrible.
I was going to. I invented. Speaking of terrible tweets, I've been tweeting recently. I invented a god the other day.
You did. Tell us all about that god.
So one of the. Well, I didn't. For the sake of the conversation, I didn't invent the god. The god revealed itself to me. How's that? Does that work better?
That's perfect.
Dear editor,
that's perfect.
Please cut to this.
We have no editor.
No,
right?
we don't.
I just downloaded like the MP3 straight from YouTube and upload it.
Never mind. There is no editing.
Yeah, we have no editing.
And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and if you go into my Twitter, you can see that person a lot. I have muted them for now because they didn't listen to Jesus. Because Jesus, by the way, tells you, if you are a Christian, that if you go and try to deliver the gospel to somebody and they don't listen, once, twice, 3 different times, you dust off the dirt from your sandals and you walk away, right? Because this is one of those throwing the seeds into the road, throwing it into the rocks, throwing it into the thorns type nonsense, casting your pearls before swine, building, there's just like so many different fucking analogies for this. Or if you will, if you're Jesus, parables. And so that was flashed. And apparently the other day I was being told that the universe has a designer, right? I'm pretty certain this person is from Illinois, by the way.
Probably. So, you're making him sound smarter than he is.
Oh, definitely not. Somebody earlier today. Earlier today, somebody called him smooth-brained, and I was like, whoa, that was mean. But I have certainly said things to him in the past that were not very nice. For good, I think there comes a point where it's necessary.
I tried. And the only time he asked the right question that wasn't a leading question was when I told him, and now you're asking the right questions.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because the whole entire time, I was like, I feel like arguing with an idiot today. I feel like knocking my IQ down by like 20 points.
She did. She went and did that by herself. I didn't invite her to the conversation.
No. It was on my own, which was a bad decision on my part.
I agree.
So I was talking to him, and every single thing, like, he would say something, and I'm all like, this is the fallacy, like, this is the argumentative fallacy that you're committing.
Really good job at that.
I was like, got to the gaps, like, false dichotomy, like, this is what you're doing, and this is why your arguments hold no weight. This is why, and you're presupposing a lot of stuff, and I reject your premise, and you need to go back and actually, like, say, like, you need to get back to questions that are not leading.
Yeah.
That aren't the kind of questions that somebody in a court of law would object to.
Yeah, they're just claims. He was just making claims without, or unsubstantiated claims.
Yeah, trying to put a question mark on the end and call it a question.
Yeah, it's like, no, this is still a claim, dude.
Yeah.
And so I was standing inside of a Best Buy, and I was on a tablet, and because
Excuse me.
Yeah, burped right in the microphone. And I was on this tablet, and I said, huh. What if... And so I decided to respond with a god. And so I was like, what am I going to call this god? And so I thought about calling the god Jeeptha, right?
Yes.
But then, as I mentioned to you the other day, I'm certain that Daimler, Chrysler, whatever, whoever owns Jeep now, would probably come after me because this god is going to become so popular, and it's going to like, we own this name or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So the name was changed to Jeethpa, spelled Jeethpa, right? This will be on Wikipedia, I can assure you. I have the ability to create this. And Jeethpa is like the almighty, god of the everything, of the cosmos.
And what was it that you called hell?
Hell is called Kuglar.
Kuglar.
It's Kuglar. And I believe I fell into like a stereotypical alien type, the way that I was like naming all these things,
Right.
Very much Star Trek, I realized with this. But like, 70-11 eons in the Kuglar and stuff like that, but not eternity. That's important to note. There's no such thing as eternity because Jeeptha lives inside of space and time, because if Jeeptha were like Yahweh, living outside of space and time would be nowhere and never.
Exactly.
And
that one's for you, Kent Hovind.
There you go, buddy. And had a wonderful time creating this, and telling this person to repent at the lower webbed claw of Jeeptha. Yeah,
because you made Jeethpa a lizard god, right?
Yes. It's like Jeethpa is a lizard, and like it has pretty much an amalgamation of everything that's ever lived, right? So plenty of claws, plenty of wings, all that stuff, but also not scary. That's important.
Right.
Yeah. But also doesn't really care about our worship either. Was that my phone?
It was not mine.
It might have been my phone. It was definitely a fun noise.
It actually sounded like it came from upstairs.
Oh.
Like somebody's dragging something across. I don't know. What?
Marie Connor replied to me on Twitter. Marie Connor is, by the way, this tall awk girl, and she's...
Oh, nice!
She replied to me on Twitter. By the way, she was on Lady Spike Media, that YouTube channel, yesterday or today. I think it went live today, and had her favorite alcoholic beverage. And apparently Marie Connor doesn't drink, and so it's actually really funny. You should definitely go and watch that. It's not a very long video after this, by the way. And I went into like talking about, I see Jen Gunter's Vagina Bible. I do recommend that as well.
Yes, I adore Dr. Jen Gunter. Yes. I really do.
And started talking about like the designer and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
how designer. He started talking about like the designer and stuff, and I was like, yeah, this is obviously Jithba.
Of course.
Because that's who it is. Anytime that a person can make a claim that it's God or whatever, I'll be like, no, it's Jithba, quite obviously. And whenever they talk about, think like sin and stuff like that, and I was like, no, yes, Yahweh in a moment of insolence created these people with it disobeyed Jithba and created these people with inherent sin. And now he's going to, did you hear that?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
Is the front door locked?
If it's not, Benny will bark.
Oh, okay.
He is the Barkington, by the way.
He is.
And I said that that Yahweh now is going to be, sent piece by piece to Kuglar, over so many different eons and stuff, and it's just like, these are the things where it's like, and I mentioned something about how old the cosmos are and stuff like that,
right?
And it's like, this is how everything's random, and I'm like, this is how this nonsense fucking sounds,
Yeah.
right? Quite obviously, Jithba is a figment of my imagination, but I'm certain I could get somebody to believe this shit. And it's like, this is what it sounds like.
If you would like to join the church of our good lizard god, Jithba, please sign up at patreon.com/divine disbelief. And if you'd like to do some fan art, because Jithba's not like that Mohammed motherfucker, and you can draw pictures of him.
Jithba is absolutely it. Jithba isn't it.
Oh, okay.
Jithba does not have a gender.
Then would it be them then?
Told me it was it, but it could be them.
Oh, okay. So we're not assigning it any sort of humanity then.
No, it doesn't have any of that.
Okay, cool.
Because we're here because of Yahweh putting us here and doing this nonsense to us.
I mean, of course.
Which by the way gives Yahweh like the ability to exist. I'm not saying Yahweh doesn't exist, but Yahweh is simply a creation of Jithba. Right, and that's so we're here because of Yahweh's fuck ups.
So is it like the umbrella where like Jithba's up here and then Yahweh's down here and then we're down here?
Yeah, it's we're actually on the same plane as Yahweh.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, we just haven't ascended yet.
Nice.
Yeah. So Paul, whenever he wrote in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, about
Jithba.
Actually about like going to like the third heaven and stuff like that. That was actually true. It's just
well, hot damn.
Yeah, there was actually things in there, but you wouldn't know it.
Of course, Talking Snake would think that the lizard god is a nice touch.
Jithba has legs. Jithba does have legs with claws. Also has wings. And there's also good news.
So is he like a tiny dragon?
It's not a dragon. It's actually unexplainable.
Is he akin to a tiny dragon?
And what's funny though is the talking snake. I have just received information regarding that as well, because Jithba continues to channel through me.
I mean, of course.
The talking snake. This is not your final form. So, like Pokemon, you will rise.
You are a prophet of Jithba.
I am. I am the one true prophet of Jithba. Currently, there are others that are out there. We just haven't met yet.
Do me a favor.
Uh-huh.
Will you change your Twitter display name to Prophet of Jithba?
Somebody is from like Atheist Husker to Jithba.
Yes.
That. Yeah, that's fine.
Leaving the pumpkins on there.
Yeah, praise be to Jithba. It is. By the way, it's earlier. It's all hail Jithba is the thing. So
all hail Jithba.
Yes,
absolutely. Do we need some sort of like?
It's this right here. It's the.
Oh, I can't. I can do that.
Yeah, there you go. It's that. It's the crooked pinky, by the way.
Is it?
Is Jithba.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
like an
earlier,
upside down jet.
So if you don't know, I've broken all my fingers, so I have like limited mobility in my fingers, and so I started like trying to move them back and forth and stuff. I started doing like this. I was like, well, Star Trek's gonna get mad at me.
Yeah, don't want to get sued.
And then I did and I was like, okay, what about? And I was like, well, nope, now that's racist.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I just flip everybody off, no, can't do that one.
Yeah. And can't do go Cougs.
Yeah, and so I was like, and I can't do like Axum Jacks or whatever, and I can't do Love You or whatever. I'm certainly not gonna do that one because. And if anybody is watching this, by the way, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you need to go and watch this 25, 35 minutes in on the video to see like all the hand signals and stuff like that.
The glow cloud will not be pleased.
Yeah. like to say, Jithpa has not informed me that the glow cloud is a thing. So.
Okay.
Well,
it hasn't informed you.
But,
so
no, it's true. But
know.
that's true. Jithpa could have other deities that I don't know about.
It's true.
And is revealing itself and its other forms and its other creations to other inhabitants of the planet. This obviously dolphins in the Hitchhiker's Guide, right?
Right.
Like obviously, he at some point, like Douglas Adams,
yeah,
actually apparently had some sort of channel with Jithpa as well, because dolphins, yes, is true.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only phrase that dolphins can actually say in English is "so long and thanks for all the fish."
It's that's a true statement.
Yeah,
that's how Douglas Adams got it right, by the way.
So, Talking Snake says, "Is there a version of hell with your god?" Yes, it's called Kuglar.
Yes, yeah, Kuglar.
Kuglar.
But it is not eternal. Kuglar is also not separation, and it's not eternal agony, something like that. It's just watching Kent Hovind videos.
No, that's even worse.
It's your flesh. You have the choice, honestly, of your flesh being continuously burned from your body and replaced, which you can do if you would like. You can watch Kent Hovind videos, or you can watch.
This is the bad place.
Or you can watch the most recent The Santa Claus film on a replay over and over and over again.
Who's in that one?
Tim Allen is all you need to know about that.
He's in all of them?
He's the Santa Claus, isn't he?
No, I know, but I thought that there was at least one of them that he wasn't in.
Oh no,
it was
he's in
just
this one.
Bernard,
if not, he's replaced
elf.
and he's in it again.
Oh.
Jithpa can do that, yeah. Yeah.
So is Jithpa writing Santa Claus fanfic and just willing it to be?
Making it worse than it already is. It's not the one with Martin Short, for sure.
Oh, Martin Short. I love Martin Short.
I know. So you have differences, things you can horrible things you can choose in Kuglar. So it's not just, and it's not and Jithpa is there, right? Because you're never eternally separated from Jithpa.
Right.
Jithpa is there and is going through, from what I understand anyway, and I could obviously, maybe learn something new from this.
Go on for hours.
But once Jithpa understands true repentance comes from you and true understanding of the necessity, then you are ascended away from Kuglar. And so it doesn't actually have to be, 70-11 eons, and there's other words as well. Much of them start with K and V. So again, I got caught in the stereotype, and that's what happened. That was something I did for almost a day. Not lying to you. Remember when I was tweeting that stuff?
That was a full day.
That was something I did, and it was fun.
Yeah.
So
now you know how the early Christians felt when they were bullshitting everything.
And Simon asks if there will be a great story of a large boat saving all the animals. According to Jithpa, by the way, that was a Yahwehan lie.
I feel like everything's a Yahwehan lie, though.
Jithpa, because of the fear of that place. Yeah, absolutely.
That's your best bet. That really, really is. Yeah. It genuinely is.
Just expressing, not even necessarily gratitude of Jithpa, but expressing gratitude that we are here right now and being a good person. I think Jithpa is accepting of that. I like it. Yeah, I'm happy to be the arbiter of truth. So.
Again, if you would like to submit your tithes to Jithpa, it's patreon.com/divine disbelief.
Yeah, and also fanfic is a big deal.
Yeah, fanfic and, fan art and stuff like that.
Love.
We'll take
a
it.
unique one, by the way. I've seen a lot of the fanfic recently. A lot of the fanfic is similar, right? Needs some unique fan art, right? Something that's out there, but not out there. Unique, but also the same. Jithpa.
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, Jithpa wills it. So.
Of course. Now that we spent 20 minutes on Jithpa.
Do we have news to talk? So I'll let you know this.
Further, pre-show announcements too.
I'll let you know this. By the way, we had a conversation earlier about this. I was walking into the bathroom, and because that's how I begin all my conversations with Susan, And
It's true.
It's how you get out of conversations real quick. Like, hey, I'm going to talk about something super important. Oh, by the way, I have to use the bathroom.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I said, so let's just spend like this much time on each of the articles. And she's like, are we going to get through 2 hours? Somehow, Susan will make it.
I think we'll manage.
Somehow.
Another sort of top of the quote unquote top of the show thing, as we are 40 minutes into this. Coming up on September 24th, which is a Tuesday, at the Arlington City Council meeting, I will be giving a secular invocation. If you probably did miss my secular invocation in Dallas, but don't miss this one because it will be at City Hall at, I believe, 6 o'clock on September 24th here in Arlington.
Texas, by the way.
Yes, there is an event on Facebook that we are co-hosting. So if you find us on Facebook and you look at the events that we're hosting, you can find it on there. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what else that we have going on. We have not come up with another date for another protest yet.
Not just yet.
Because although it was 80-something yesterday, it was still 90-something today, so it has not sufficiently cooled down yet.
No.
Once it gets more sort of September, October, we're going to be looking more into that, but we are moving at the end of October, so we need to...
So it'll be before then. It'll be sometime in September, preferably in September, I think is what we want to do. Because October has a lot of things for a lot of different people. And so we'd like to do that in September. Mm-hmm. And this, of course, is this is our last show in August.
Right.
And because we're coming on September 1st, I believe, which is Sunday, right?
Yes. And as usual, Sunday shows are going to be running a little bit later than usual.
Yeah.
Because of Nathaniel's work schedule. And then the 1st and the 8th, I am scorekeeping. I'm doing that scorekeeping.
That's right. Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit later. Excuse me. Sucked in oxygen and something else. What a grand design this was. So it'll be a little later in the evening, but it'll still be amazing. We also are trying to do our best to line up some great guests. So if you would like to come on, send us a DM on Twitter or on Facebook.
Or email us, divinedisbelief@gmail.com.
At Gmail. And or if you have somebody in mind that you would like to see on, we've had some amazing guest hosts.
Yeah.
We've had obviously Neil the Texel for Atheists on here. Last week we had
Randolph Richardson of Canadian Atheists.
He's the president and the founder. Of Canadian Atheists. Someone called American
really
Atheists.
Awesome.
We also had Cyrus the Skeptic on here. We've had Jamie the Heathen from the ACA down in Austin. Mm-hmm. And we had Cheshire Vic. She has her channel. Their channel is called The Slippery Slope or something like that, I think, on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And who are some other people? We had Blue Collar Heathen.
Blue Collar Heathen. Yeah, we have Blue Collar Heathen, which is awesome.
Yep. And I think we are in the works to get Navardia from Australia on.
Oh, nice.
And she and I have been conversing recently. I didn't tell you about
Very
that.
Nice.
Didn't tell her at all.
There's a lot of things that get left out until it's all like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, just so you know. Time to sleep. It's 4:30 a.m. Oh, goodness. That's right. I think Banana's over in Israel, right?
Oh, I think?
Well,
I'm not entirely
Banana Jr., thank you so much for coming in and everything, all the awesome insight and comments you provide. It truly is always a great time.
Yes.
And what's next? A cockroach. I just read the Talking Snakes comment from earlier. We appreciate every single one of you that comments and tags and stuff, so we can read those. It's truly is amazing. But so we have, if you have anybody that you would like to see come on the show, and if you have anybody or if you would like to come on the show as well, just let us know, because it doesn't have to be somebody that has YouTube. That's for sure. That's something I think that anybody that has really any
sort of content that they create, or if you just have a good story to tell, you can come on, tell your story, go over some news stories with us. And
yes, the news stories and the conversation about them are really the highlight of of our time on here, when we get to talk to somebody else and gain some perspective from somebody that's not us, talking about them and stuff. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get to some news.
Let's get to the news.
So, some news. So, the way that this article was titled, this is comes from the Austin Chronicle.
Oh, yeah.
The way that this article was titled, this is Anti-LGBTQ Church Out at AISD. And this title was kind of misleading. So Celebration Church, they're based in Georgetown, Texas. They're an anti-LGBTQ+. They're supported by Ken Paxton and now apparently have outgrown their rented space with the Austin Independent School District. Last year, when AISD began renting out the Mueller Performing Arts Center to the hate church, protests were mounted as a result of their awful rhetoric.
I like he calls it a hate church.
Well, they are.
I appreciate it.
They're terrible.
I just appreciate it.
Oh, thank
nice
you.
to hear. Ken Paxton. I mean, imagine that.
Yeah.
Don't let Ken steal his pen. Something happened. We'll go to that in like a different episode.
Yeah, I can tell that story later. But don't be fooled. The protests, despite being deemed a success by those who organized them, did not actually result in the church vacating their month-to-month rental agreement.
Of course not.
So, a statement that was issued to the Austin Chronicle from church spokesperson Christine Haas said Celebration Church has entered into a purchase agreement to buy a building in the Koenig Lane area. The growth of our congregation has allowed for this opportunity, and we are very excited to have a permanent home for our Mueller campus.
Is it Mueller or Mueller?
It's Mueller.
Okay, thank you.
I lived in Austin. It's Mueller and it's Koenig.
Thumbs up.
I lived there.
I'm just making sure.
I know.
I was just verifying with you.
Which is why every time somebody says the Mueller report, it throws me off because they're spelled the same.
Getcha. Yeah, that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was definitely reading it Mueller.
Yeah. Nope. Mueller. So.
Mueller.
Personally, and I'm pretty sure that other people will probably back this up as well, I am 100% sure that this church purposefully rented out this space, knowing that they could not deny them the rental based on their hate speech, because they would hide behind their, saying, well, that's part of our religious beliefs, and if you're going to deny us this based on our religious beliefs, then we're gonna fucking sue you.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when I say the church had Ken Paxton support, I mean as in whenever the protests started, Ken Paxton wrote a letter and was like, motherfucker, if you deny them this rental, me and my office and I, whatever, will sue you.
So what? Attorneys general sue people all the fucking time.
Yeah, Ken Paxton is also under indictment for fraud, so go fuck yourself, Ken Paxton.
Yeah,
You're
not quite the most honest person.
No, he's really not. And also the whole "don't let Ken steal this pen" thing is because he was going through. I don't remember if it was, I think it was at the Capitol.
It was up in Denton.
It was in Denton. It was at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was.
Yeah, it was up in Denton.
So
this is why it's so funny.
He was going through security at a courthouse in Denton County. What is?
Stanley's dreaming. If you can hear him. By the way, please comment if you can hear Stanley kind of boofing and barking in the background because he's dreaming.
God, that's so cute.
You can definitely hear.
At some point, we might want to make him stop.
He'll stop.
So he was going through the security checkpoint, where if you've ever been to a courthouse and been in the, in the actual court part, that you have to, go through the metal detectors and you have to empty out your pockets and everything, for safety. Well, there was a guy, and I don't remember who exactly it was, but there was a guy who had this super fucking expensive pen. That was real fancy, one of those ones that you buy, that you refill with actual ink, that it's not one of them throwaway little Bic pens. It's a fancy ass pen. And Ken Paxton stole it.
Yeah, he went through, looked at the pen.
And fucking stole it.
It's on video and everything.
Yeah, he is on video stealing that pen.
If you want to see that at any point after our show here, just Google "Don't let Ken steal this pen" and you'll see the video.
Yeah, so
it's quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so while I am very, very glad that they are no longer going to be renting out the Performing Arts Center, I am a little disheartened by the fact that they have officially outgrown it.
Those had Godless Engineer on. I forgot about that. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I think them getting their own building and not using ASD stuff is nice. Now, we don't know actually how much they've actually, quote unquote, outgrown it necessarily.
Yeah, there was something in the article, because the original article that we're talking about came from the Austin Chronicle. They've been covering, basically this whole entire thing. The protesters that stood outside pretty much every single week were all like, yeah, we counted them.
Yeah.
There was no growth in numbers. They're full of shit.
Wait, you tell me that non-profit religious extremist organizations will fudge numbers? Why, I've never heard of that before.
Oh my gosh.
No way, Ken Ham.
Revelations 21:8.
Damn.
What? That's the one that says liars go to hell.
Just quoting the Bible on them.
I am.
They don't like it when you do that either.
No, they don't.
That was what I found out from... I was also reminding people who were talking about Ilhan Omar. And
oh, yeah.
And I was like, now, as a Christian... Yeah. I know that you follow the words of Jesus when he says not to lie. So let's talk about this. And it turns out, as you remind them that lying is bad because Jesus said so,
they get super pissy.
They do not like to be reminded that being dishonest is a bad thing.
Yep.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, could we agree that Jesus said lying is bad? I got called anti-Semitic. I'm like, first off,
what?
Whenever have I ever been anti-Semitic? And B, I can't be anti-Semitic toward you. You're a fucking Christian.
Yeah, like that's not...
That's some nonsense.
Is it because Jesus was a Jew?
I don't think they know what anti-Semitic... I think, like, at one point, because this is like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was playing GTA 5, and I was just like, I need to get on Twitter for a little bit, because I don't know which one is just stressing me out more.
Go from one stressor to the other.
And I this person... continued to say these stupid things, right? And called me anti-Semitic, right? And all that stuff.
You keep on using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
But at one point I responded, because they just said something about how all white shooters are white supremacists or some nonsense, right? And I was like, you're like quoting Jeanine Pirro's Fox News drunken ramblings.
Yeah.
That's like what you're doing right now.
Jeanine Pirro on Fox News is basically your middle-aged aunt who smells like cheap Chardonnay and gets way too close when she talks.
She was a judge.
I know.
Be terrified.
I still hold what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I tried. Thankfully, she's not anymore.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because she's also... Now, you do know that Hannity and... like the Fox 5 or whatever the fuck they are now, Fox and Friends.
Yeah.
And is Tucker Carlson back yet?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about him, so
Nope, I don't think so. Extended vacation.
Why is he barking?
Oh, I don't know, somebody honked a horn or something 5 blocks away, I don't know. But he said he was going to be going on vacation, right? He must have went on like that Bill O'Reilly vacation.
Yeah, I hope he's gone.
Yeah, but like Jeanine Pirro and the Fox people and Hannity and Tucker Carlson, that's not actually considered news.
No, it's all opinion.
Yeah. And
but they take it as news.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is the same thing as like, Anderson 360 or whatever,
Yeah.
And Rachel Maddow. This is all opinion.
Yeah, it's not actual news.
Yeah. Mind you, there's actually truth to like CNN and MSNBC, whereas Fox is just like, she literally the other day, this is a video that's on the internet, you can watch it, where Jeanine Pirro the other day was going to have somebody on while you're looking up like the next like news article, whichever where she was going to have somebody on, and apparently they couldn't come on. The call dropped or some weird shit, and she went and she was like, oh, that call dropped, okay, well, let's talk about socialism. And let's talk about voter fraud. And she was like, she couldn't figure it out. And then she's like, oh, now we got Charlie Kirk on to talk about Next Fox News talking point. It was like a robot who was sitting there like, it was like fucking malfunctioning. It was like socialism, Trump, Hillary's emails, build a wall. And it was like
Benghazi.
That was like, yeah, it was like what it was like. It was like Obama, Arthur, Kenya. That was like, it was like that. I'm losing my headphones trying to like, because my neck hurts. Trying to like go over this because that was what it was like. It was like she was malfunctioning.
Yeah.
She was like, and she looked like what's his face from The Office when he's in the State Farm commercials now.
Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where his robot self is like, oil comes out of his eye type shit. Same thing, except she's apparently a real person.
Is she?
I'm the real judge.
All right. So we're moving on.
Tonight's fun.
Moving on to Kentucky. But this one, actually,
yeah,
it's both mildly infuriating and a little bit hopeful.
Yeah, good on you, Kentucky, for being at least a little bit hopeful. Also, vote for, what's her name? She's running against Mitch McConnell.
McGrath.
Yeah, and also Hickenlooper up in Colorado.
True. Yeah.
And then Kirsten Gillibrand dropped out of the race for president a little bit earlier today, so definitely she's going to still be in the Senate, so that's good news.
Yes,
good to keep
very
it
good news.
Yeah.
So my very first line of my, usually I start out, talking about whatever story with some sort of like half sarcastic comment, obviously. This one just says, Ark Park!
Ark Park. Do not give them any ideas about putting a dog park next to it now. They call it
Would they call it Ark Bark?
Yes. Don't you dare. They may even add like Ark Bark Park. They might even add even more. So just like don't.
I would go there.
If you're listening to this, Ken, we have now copywritten that name.
I would take the dogs there and not pick up their shit.
I wouldn't. Oh God, it means I have to go there.
Anyway.
Also, that's mean.
Since when do I care?
That's a good point.
So the Grant County School Board is suing the Ark Encounter, alleging that the Christian theme park isn't paying enough in taxes due to being vastly undervalued by county officials, and we're not surprised by this accusation in the slightest.
No.
The suit says that the county's property valuation administrator valued the property at just $48 million. Precisely, it was $48,068,200. While a better estimate of its worth sits at about $130 million, which is more than 2.5 times the original assessment.
Who the fuck gave the original assessment?
Christians.
A reminder to Christians, Revelation
21:8. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we all realize, of course, that this would mean that the Ark Encounter and, its subsequent parent company, Answers in Genesis, have grossly underpaid its fair share of taxes.
Which they don't pay anyways.
Well, so for the property taxes.
Oh,
anyway.
got it.
Yeah, because it's not a church.
Yeah.
The Ark Encounter anyway, it's not a church.
Yeah.
So for the 2017 tax year, Ark Encounter paid $275,911.47. And if they'd paid according to how they should have been valued, they would have paid approximately $746,200.
So you're saying, what you're saying is...
They're cheating us out, or cheating Kentucky out of tax revenue. They're cheating the schools out of tax revenue. That's why it's the school board that's suing them.
Seems like unsurprising to me.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised at all. The attorney representing the board said without a doubt the Ark Encounter property is vastly undervalued by the PBA, citing an affidavit from the Ark Encounter's accounting firm that stated that construction and startup costs amounted to more than $72 million.
Man, Noah must have built that boat. How much money did he have?
Well, they measured everything in cubits and rupees, so,
Cubits and rubies. Fair enough.
I don't know.
Rubles,
yeah.
No, that's what Donald Trump measures his wealth in. Hashtag Deutsche Bank. Anyways, go ahead.
And of course, Donald Rumberg, who's the attorney representing the board, said, I don't think there's any ill motive or bad intent. The PVA has just never been trained to assess arcs. I don't know of any PVA in the Commonwealth that could. You snarky motherfucker, I love you.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? Hey, I'm super sorry. We undervalued your fucking boat that doesn't float.
Yeah, and what I don't understand is, like, they had this affidavit of how much construction and startup costs were. Mm-hmm. Why did they not use that as their base? Like, what?
I don't know.
I understand that, you know, the Ark Encounter is something that is, you know, an entirely different animal, than you know, other theme parks and stuff. But I feel like they probably went based on, well, we don't know what to do with this and we don't want to overvalue it, run the risk of Ken Ham getting pissy with us. So, well, and on top of that, aren't they claiming a bunch of tax breaks saying that it's going to create revenue when it's not creating nearly the revenue that they thought it was going to?
Yeah, something like 19 million or something like that, I think.
Yeah, like there's this huge shortfall in how much revenue they thought it was going to, how much revenue was produced versus the projected.
Yeah, they're not getting nearly the much anything.
No.
Like at all.
Yeah, so like, basically, now that there's actual, like, tangible, you know, results of Ken Ham and Answers in Genesis and the Ark Encounter and their greed and their you know, their complete and utter disregard of anything having to do with public education. Yeah. Because if they gave a shit about public education, they'd be all like, hey, you know, we understand.
Yeah.
We understand that this needs to be reassessed. But I mean, aren't Christians notorious for not giving a shit about public education?
Certain evangelicals, especially, and those are homeschooled. And by the way, welcome in Kaitlyn from GE. We actually mentioned you a little bit earlier. Well, only mentioned that, like, GE and you guys were on the show.
Y'all.
Huh?
I said y'all.
Yeah, both of you from the like a great state of, it's not Council-Tucky, so we're good. Yeah, and there's a certain sect of evangelical Christians, but I think the state of Kentucky they're becoming more and more wise to Ken Ham's nonsense.
Yeah,
and
to
I
his
certainly
fucking
appreciate that.
nature as a charlatan.
Yes.
Like,
which is what he does.
Yeah.
Apparently his son is in Australia doing much of the same.
Oh, of course.
And then there are his son-in-law is Bodie Hodge, who is on his own. Pardon me. Who's on his show?
I have a funny comment,
News.
but I'll wait.
Say what?
I said I have a funny comment, but I'll wait until you're done.
Go ahead.
No, he's on Answers News.
Answers News, which is their like weekly show or whatever. Apologia does an amazing ham and egg news, responding to Answers News. You should definitely go and subscribe to Apologia and watch. Like he's probably got, I don't know, 100 of them by now.
Nice.
And so Bodie Hodge is his son-in-law, Ken Ham's, and they're on like once a week or something like that inside the Ark.
So,
air quotes.
Two things.
It doesn't float.
Three things actually. One, how much new stuff can they come up with Answers in Genesis?
Okay, so to explain this is actually really easy. Because, as you're aware, I read scientific articles every
regularly.
Day. Yeah, read one today too. Yeah, Pachyrhinosaurus.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, it sounds like something it's not. And like there was an ankylosaur off the coast of British Columbia that was, it's actually not an ankylosaur, but it is an ankylosaur, but it's not an ankylosaurus. Does that make sense? It's like a hadrosaur, but not a hadrosaurus. So it's like the same genus, but it's not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Thank you. And didn't turn into birds. It's an ornithischian. That's important. And it was so well preserved because of how it was buried that I was able a week in advance to read that and say, oh shit, this is going to show up on Ken Ham's nonsense because it's so well preserved. And they're like, this couldn't happen unless it was in the water and buried very quickly. That kind of nonsense. And yeah, and I was like, and so that's where it comes from. It's responding very poorly to scientific actual news. Not the papers. No. They can't even fucking read the papers. Georgia Purtle probably can. She has a PhD or whatever in genetics. She definitely knows she's lying, and you can tell she sometimes accidentally lets it slip.
She dies a little inside every day.
She Kellyanne Conway's all the time. And, but, like, I can tell in advance when, like, they find, like, things like amber with some sort of, like, dinosaur or...
Oh, they go full on Jurassic fucking Park.
And we can tell in advance, at least I can. I don't know if anybody else even tries. If you do, I feel bad for you. I know how I feel when I do it. That I can, like, actually read this and go, well, this might end up on fucking Answers in Genesis, right? And they've also become more and more, like, into, like, they're, like, super anti-trans and all that stuff, you know?
Of course.
They're anti-equality. They're pro forced birth or whatever.
Of course.
And so they've kind of gone into that more often. But I can almost, like, they don't talk anything about the Prince George Formation up in Alaska.
Right.
The hadrosaurs. Hell no. Like actual science. But they get their stuff from, like, basic editorials, which are not scientific papers.
No.
And they try and say,
opinion.
this is what this says. And so Paula G, of course, and Shannon Q, of everybody that I have ever listened to, had the opportunity, you and I obviously know them, to speak with, do a better job of saying, this is what this actually says. But that's where they get it from. They're not actually doing any research because they can't.
No.
They don't do any science. They just take what they read and they try to misrepresent it. Now, dear media, first off, fuck you for, like, or as my friend Beto O'Rourke would say, hey, media, what the fuck? Do a better job reporting.
Yeah.
So don't try and just sensationalize everything. But also, hey, scientists, you know, be better at explaining these things as well. Be a better and I can't force somebody who's not a great communicator to become one.
That's true. Yeah.
But to be a great communicator and like to communicate these things better, because we're talking about an ankylosaur who was washed out to sea and buried rapidly. That's something that would happen in a silt deposit. We need to explain why. Mm-hmm. That way they can't come in and try and say, this is what happened. There's the Great Flood.
Yeah, they can't excuse it away.
Fucking way. There's nothing else there. It was this one particular ankylosaur.
Yeah.
This is one example, by the way. They have a myriad of bullshit they try to do to try to misrepresent things. And they do this inside of, and Paul's actually been there, it's really funny, inside of the building, because it's not a boat. And it's like to this room full of, I say full, chairs. There's not a lot of people there, and you can tell because of the echo reverb. And that's really funny.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't remember the second thing I had, but the third
I
thing
cannot believe we lost 2 people while talking about that. How dare all of you leave? This is some nonsense. I demand you come back.
How they're not going to hear that.
Nope.
Anyway, so do you
stuff.
think Ken Ham's daughter married that guy? When did they get married? Do you know?
No.
Do you think it was before or after the Ark Encounter was built?
Oh, I think it was before that.
So, do you think he built it because he had a son-in-law named Bodie? And everybody just left.
For those of you listening in podcast form, at 1 hour and 9 minutes of the show, Susan told a really bad joke, and I stared at her she's still laughing, the dog has since woken up for 5 seconds. Nobody in the chat is laughing. Before
the delayed, you can see the delay.
Before I picked up my drink and proceeded to imbibe.
We gained somebody. That's good.
Did we? Imbibe gratuitously.
Oh, and we lost them immediately.
Yeah, they were like just laying there cackling in your chair. Stanley moved away from you. I want to let you know that Stanley got up a little bit and moved forward a little bit. That joke was so bad you made the corgi move. Oh,
proud of myself right
my
now.
goodness gracious.
I don't even remember. I did originally have 3 things. One of those was, the first thing that I already mentioned.
Bodhi
and asked.
Hodge thing.
I don't remember what the second one was. And then the third thing was Bodhi.
Jesus Christ.
I wonder if he's going to change his last name to McBoatface.
His name, by the way, is spelled B-O-D-I-E, so that's important. But that'd be
Nope,
funny.
not anymore.
Nope, now it's B-O-A-T-I-E.
Not anymore.
B-O-A-T-Y.
B-O-A-T-Y.
His name now
B-O-A-T-Y.
is Bodhi. So that's going to be it. This little cartoon boat.
Ken Ham is so obsessed with Noah and his Ark that he forced his daughter
That's funny.
to marry a man
Named Bodhi.
named Bodhi.
Big boat face. So you had a little cartoon boat with the eyes and like the smiley face. And everything.
Oh, his whole head is just a boat.
Yeah. Just walking around.
Yeah.
Like BoJack Horseman.
Yeah, I mean,
Alright,
entirely.
That's fair.
Fuck y'all, that was funny.
Yeah, nobody in the comments like that. I think KC was like, I am out of here. Bye. Jiminy Christmas. I have to get the thing to make my computer have power. Otherwise, it's going to die.
Did you bring it in here?
Huh? No, I didn't. I figured we'd be okay.
Go ahead and go grab
Yep,
that, and
gotta-
I'll move on to the next story.
Got to grab that.
Go grab that right now. I'll move on to
How
the
do
next
I have
story.
4 viewers? This is one of our better shows.
Because it took us 45 minutes to start talking about the news.
Yeah, but our conversation leading in was amazing. I feel like that was the
pretty
best
good.
part of our show until you're nope, definitely still the best part of the show.
Ah,
I tried.
I liked my joke.
Yeah, your joke was good.
I have to tell
tried.
Christian about that. My
No.
friend Christian.
Is an atheist.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I have
funny.
to tell him about that because pretty much every single bad joke I would tell on Atheist Airwaves, he's collected into an audio file and sent it to me.
Oh gosh.
It's great, including the time that I couldn't pronounce Epignani or Manon.
Phenomenon.
Yeah, you've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
We lost somebody else?
we have 3 now.
How? What else is going on out there that we are missing?
I
That
don't
people
know.
are losing. That people are not listening.
I don't know.
I should not be so concerned with that. We only have 3.
Well,
people
tell you what,
listening.
let's sort of pound these ones out and
Pound it out.
Heyo.
I have to go get power from the
Okay,
computer.
go get power. Okay, so while Nathaniel goes and grab, don't forget to take off your head. There you go.
I do appreciate that I'm certain I'm far enough from the microphone now that it sounds like I am.
Yeah. All right.
Definitely get that.
The
That definitely
is it
moved.
gonna?
Oh yeah, it definitely moved.
It's gonna move. Yeah, it's gonna move here in a sec. All right. So, Jerry Falwell Jr. Oh, dog chasing cat.
She ran into my legs. It was weird.
Anyway, yeah. So, Jerry Falwell Jr., you keep bringing these young men into your circle. You keep doing that. And let's see yeah, he did. You keep bringing these young men into your circle and doing things that look super fucking shady.
Not Jerry.
Not Junior. Most recently, he's using Liberty University to basically bankroll real estate transactions for a personal trainer that he used to train with, and I don't even know anymore. I just don't. So the trainer, who is a Liberty University graduate named Benjamin Crosswhite, has apparently taken ownership of an 18-acre section of property that is home to a racket sports and fitness facility that used to belong to Liberty University. And last year, a bank approved a $2 million line of credit with the piece of property as collateral. And of course, this makes everyone think about Junior's other dude, his name Giancarlo Granata, who was that whole, he helped him buy a youth hostel, and apparently that youth hostel was home to a whole bunch of things that Junior didn't really approve of, but he still did it. And there was stuff about, the racy photos and blah, blah, blah. So with the difference between these two, though, is that with Granata, Falwell used his own money. With Crosswhite, he's using money and assets from Liberty University in order to financially assist the graduate. Junior signed over the deed for the 18-acre property to Crosswhite in 2016, and Liberty University agreed to lease the space from him at $650,000 for a 9-year period. The property had been received as a gift to Liberty University from a trustee back in 2011, and that trustee has since passed away. And Liberty claims that the facility had become a drain on resources and that selling it to Crosswhite was indeed the best financial option. It should also be noted that the Falwells took Crosswhite on a trip to Miami in Liberty's private jet in 2012 and then end up leasing the fitness facility to him the following year. Because what he was, the whole thing was, he's leasing the fitness facility, he was looking to purchase, oh look, he's magically the best option for this. There's a long history with Junior using Liberty University in order to help Crosswhite out financially, so we'll see how this one plays out and who's fucking who.
Ha!
Good timing.
Yeah, it was good timing. I enjoyed that timing.
Alright. You want to move on to California? The theft.
Yep.
Does this count as... Well, we have... So, one of the articles that I had initially put in the show sheet was I did not look, and it actually was from 2018. So I deeply apologize for that. But I did recently find... That was about the pastor in the Valley in Texas.
Yeah.
That was from 2018 because he was arrested in 2018. But I did see, and I have saved on Facebook, a video from the woman who that guy allegedly sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
So, clergy crimes.
Yep.
So I guess this technically counts as a clergy crime, even though it's not like a sexual abuse clergy crime. So the Fifth Church of Christ Scientist is more than just a cult.
Fifth Church of Christ
Scientist, scientist.
You know that there's a Scientology thing in Dallas, right?
Somehow I knew that.
Yeah, I think you drive by it when you go down by your work. It's not far from Love Field.
I know we had gone. We didn't go to, but we drove past the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, the Kingdom
Temple.
Hall.
Yeah, Kingdom Hall or whatever. Yeah, we drove past that once when we were coming back from a dog park.
This will not surprise you at all that the Church of Scientology there in Dallas is in the, let's just say, upper class area.
Be fairly
of town.
affluent.
Yeah.
Area.
Because they can afford it.
They can afford.
That's the joke, folks.
Yep. So now the Fifth Church of Christ Scientist is home to a theft valuing more than $11 million. So Charles Sebesta of Huntington Beach, California, was arrested on a federal grand jury indictment charging him with wire fraud, bank fraud, and identity theft. It's reported that he used the funds to buy a home and buy a membership to an exclusive dining club at Disneyland called Club 33. Because why only let the kids have fun?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Sorry, I was typing to Maya.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna have some.
I usually do, but I was typing to Maya in the chat.
So the DA's office says that Sebesta's crimes began in 2006 and continued for at least a decade, and included sending money to bank accounts in his own name and family members' names and a number of fake companies. And if convicted, Sebesta faces up to 250 years of prison. And get this is the best part of this. This is my favorite part. That Club 33 place.
Yeah.
There is a $25,000 initiation fee and a yearly fee of $10,000.
Jesus Christ.
No word on if he gets to keep his membership, though. Damn, I'm good. That is the second time tonight that he's just looked at me.
Yeah. That is
and just had an
times.
Extended. Yes, I'm very proud
times.
of myself. Very, very proud. Proud. All right. So Gordon Klingenschmitt.
Not in Colorado.
Well, so
Klingenschmitt?
he has a YouTube show now.
How did I miss Klingenschmitt?
I don't know. It was the Right Wing Watch article.
Yeah, I'm usually on top of those.
Yeah, I don't know.
Klingenschmitt.
I don't know, but apparently he's still a thing.
Klingenschmitt. It looks like Klingenschmitt looks like in Captain America, the little short doctor.
Oh, what is that guy's name? It's not Toby Hooper, because that's the guy who directed Chainsaw Massacre.
Thanks, Maya. I love you too.
And I'm gonna figure this. Toby something. What is his name? No, that's not him. It's gonna drive me nuts. Somebody's gonna tell me, and I'm gonna go, that's the guy! Toby Jones? Toby Jones.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, Toby Jones, that guy. Yeah, does look like him.
Yeah, he does. So every time I see it, I'm just like, maybe he's gonna get his face burned off like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like the guy in Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
That's all I think of.
Kalima.
Yeah, it's the original one, but yeah, it's the not Temple of Doom, but the Raiders of the Last Ark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Temple of Doom. What you did there, Raiders of the Last Ark. They get the Ark of the Covenant.
I thought Kalima was in the first one.
It was, but what I'm talking about is at the end, they open it up and melts their faces off.
I thought both of those were in the first one.
That's the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, it's been a long time since
that one's the last. Yeah. It's the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is the Ark of the Covenant. You said the first one was Raiders.
The first one is Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
and then it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then it is Last Crusade, and then we don't talk about Shia LaBeouf. What the fuck was that?
That's what he does with the umbrella.
Okay, I was wondering.
The seagulls.
Okay, I was like,
yeah,
he does whenever he's like on the car.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Sean Connery.
What time does Sean Connery want to hit a ball back and forth?
Oh, I don't know.
10-ish. That's 3. Anyway.
They're shouting the best James Bond ever.
So Gordon Klingenschmitt is still a fucking thing.
How about that?
He is still a thing. So on his YouTube show, which is called Pray in Jesus' Name, religious right activist and former Colorado state legislator Klingenschmitt recently had on a guest named Alex Newman.
Not surprising.
Newman is a contributor to WorldNet Daily. He is an education writer for Freedom Project Media.
Also bad.
A foreign correspondent for The New American Magazine.
Not better.
And a contributor to the Law Enforcement Intelligence Brief.
It's not the worst of them, but still bad.
Yeah, it's still pretty bad.
All of those are bad.
Yeah.
They're all conspiracy lies.
Newman is not a great dude.
He's like Andy Go, but just not very... Andy No, but just not very well known.
Yep.
Ha! You should not know about Andy No.
So Newman went on Klingenschmidt's program and said that teaching students about LGBTQ history should be illegal.
How did I not read this one?
I don't know. Oh. This, of course, is in reference to Colorado's recent legislation that requires public schools to adopt an LGBTQ plus friendly curriculum. But Klingenschmitt claims that it's going to basically force kids to become gay, as if that's the worst thing they could possibly be. Because being gay is apparently, like, the end of the world.
All right, Susan, do me a favor here.
Yes.
Choose to be gay.
No.
Why not?
Can't do it.
Why?
Because I like your dick too much.
No. Okay. Well, I can't choose to be gay either. Is it because I just can't?
Yeah, because it's not something you choose.
It's not. If you walk into a room and you're like, there's like a sexy ass... I don't know, fireman or Navy dude or whatever, and then there's you. I'm like, who the fuck is I'm getting in bed with? Well, it depends on if it's summer or winter, honestly, because the bear is probably rather warm. But let's be honest.
But I'm warm.
I'm not yeah, she really is. It is amazing. She runs like a fucking heater, man. I think it's the diabetes or something. I don't know.
I've just always been warm.
It is amazing.
I don't know. Anyway, so...
Yeah, hello, Newman. Yeah.
Klingenschmitt said they're redefining all of the textbooks. was that?
Alien spaceship just went by. Don't worry about it. Jeeth was cool.
Jeeptha? You just called him the wrong thing.
Jeethva.
You just called him Jeeptha.
You know what? That was what I was originally going to call it. So, but Jeethva said that's fine. It's like alien spaceship.
All right, cool.
If that shows up on the audio, by the way, for this video, please let us know in the chat.
Yeah, as soon as you hear that.
Yeah.
Let us know. So Klingenschmitt said they're redefining all of the textbooks. It doesn't make sense. Years ago, this would be pedophiles recruiting and grooming children for their own perverse pleasure down the road. I don't know what this is literally a direct quote, so I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why don't we see this as an illegal measure of recruiting children into sodomy? And Newman said, we can already start to see what is happening. The breakdown of the family, skyrocketing abortion numbers, school shootings, the collapse of our society. It is an abomination. Only Christians ever use that fucking word. It is a tragedy of immense proportions, and honestly, I don't think our society is going to survive another generation or two of this. You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell that Newman thought he was being super fucking eloquent, saying a tragedy of immense proportions.
It's the, babe, it's the crime of the age.
Crimea River?
Crime of the age. Cinema Snob. Crime of the age.
Oh, have I watched that?
Do you like carrots? Have you not watched that one?
No.
Oh, the Crime of the Age is awesome.
No, I haven't watched that one.
Oh my gosh. This is the same thing. Oh, these people live on fear, man. It's like there are not the people that are most terrified on the entire planet are the Christians who think they're going to win everything.
Yeah, like they are. It's infuriating because they are under the belief that whatever narrow-minded, bigoted views they have, they need to pass on to future generations. They need to teach these children to not be, you know, accepting and open-minded and caring. They act as though any sort of emotion from a man is seen as a vulnerability, and any sort of, you know, strength from a woman is seen as, I don't know, her just being a bitch.
How dare you? But
so,
no, yeah, you're right. They live on this fear and this persecution complex. If we let them teach about the gay,
yeah,
they will all become gay.
Yeah, it's like
just like all of you became gay. Remember how gay you are?
Or if you're straight now, do you remember the time when you were gay? Oh,
yeah.
Wait, you don't, because that's not how it works.
Don't listen to that harlot. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You will turn gay. Only the men, too, because we only care about the men.
Yeah.
That's a true statement. We have been at anti-LGBTQ churches. They only care about the dudes.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't care. It's two fucking homos.
Yeah, that is literally what they say verbatim.
Yeah, they actually do say fucking. So I'm just like, sir, what exactly do you know about two men fucking? Please do tell.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
They are.
Highly, highly ridiculous.
They are something else. Yawning directly into the microphone. We recommend it here on this show.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
So.
Are you on Twitter?
Only briefly. Hey, you do that too.
Yep. That is an accurate statement all the time.
So, moving on back to Texas.
Because we just can't leave this state.
To a little town called Mathis. Now, as many of you know, as all of you know, I grew up in a place called Corpus Christi.
Yeah, if you don't know, you haven't listened to the show before.
Yeah, exactly.
Whataburger, right?
Whataburger and Selena, man.
There it is.
Nobody even knows who Farrah Fawcett is anymore, so, you know, I don't even claim Farrah Fawcett anymore.
And also the USS
Lexington,
one of those small aircraft carrier things.
Yeah, it's very tiny.
Yeah.
So it's not a direct suburb of Corpus. Mathis is probably about 45 minutes away, 45 minutes to an hour away from downtown Corpus Christi.
Yeah, and we up here in Arlington, we are 6 hours, like basically on the dot
Yeah.
From Corpus Christi.
From Corpus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun drive.
Yeah.
Depending on what time of day you go, I guess.
That's very true. So, in this little town of Mathis, there's two brothers named Cesar and Diego Gonzalez, and they are the subject of a religious discrimination case. It started when their parents made a promise to God to never cut a piece of the kid's hair.
Yeah.
Now, it just so happens... I apologize in advance. This story annoys the fuck out of me.
For more than one reason.
Well... And I really don't want to make fun of these kids. I really don't.
Oh.
They have rat tails.
Yeah.
The piece of their hair that their parents promised that they would never cut.
Yeah.
Each of these kids has a rat tail. It's a very long rat tail.
Yeah,
Comes like
longish,
midway down their back. Like almost all the way down their back, actually. So apparently their parents made this promise to God whenever they were kids that they would never cut their hair. So they see their hair as a part of their faith.
Yeah, like a Samson thing.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. If you cut his hair,
He loses his strength. Oh, wait, no, it's all my fault.
Yeah.
It's always all my fault.
Yeah, you're the woman. It's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the kids decided, they had basically gotten a religious exemption. They'd gone to these schools, their entire lives, and they'd gotten a religious exemption all the way up until like kindergarten through 6th grade. So when they hit 7th grade, that's when they ran into the issues because they wanted to start competing in UIL sanctioned activities.
That stands for University Interscholastic League.
Yes.
Which should not, because there are no universities involved.
It's true.
It's basically drama and shit in Texas high school.
It's just anything that you can basically compete at in Texas.
Yeah.
UIL oversees.
Yeah.
And you have to be eligible for stuff. You have to keep your grades up. You have to have certain like appearance standards and stuff like that.
I guess like above a 2.5 or something. Some crazy number. I don't know.
You can't fail any classes.
How dare you, Texas?
So I actually was ineligible from something in high school because I failed a class. It was marching band.
Did you fail marching band?
No.
Okay.
I was ineligible from marching band because I failed a class.
Oh, well, I learned that today.
Yeah, we'll talk about high school.
And so, because you can't have like, if you're in UIL, there's high school football, by the way, is UIL. You can't have like your hair sticking out the back of your helmet and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't have like long hair and stuff. So the way that
underneath the helmet,
this article that we have has a lot of very, very emotionally charged language, and it made me very, very angry when I was reading it. Yeah, it's me just basically saying I hate you the whole time. So
it's my favorite part.
Yeah. Now these kids have decided to sue because they are being denied the opportunity to compete in stuff. And I don't have a lot else to say other than what fucking sort of Christianity are you practicing? Why would you make this promise to God? Why is everybody saying that these kids are being fucking bullied? You're not being fucking bullied. It's not what's happening. You don't fucking like it? Fucking cut your hair. I don't care anymore. This makes me so mad. I realize it makes me sound like an asshole. I fucking realize that. But it's like, these kids have been just all like, wah, look at us. We're so bullied. We're so persecuted. Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, motherfucker, you are the religious majority. You are taking rights away from other people.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be allowed to fucking do some dumb little high school thing. I realize this makes me sound like an asshole, but this whole thing just made me so mad. Because it's like, ugh, I'm willing to accept that I'm wrong about this.
I don't think you are, because a person... So there are firmly held religious beliefs and things like that, and not cutting your hair is like one of those things that people would do, right? And I get that, but a person should also be able to like, like braid up their hair and put it underneath a helmet and stuff like that.
Yeah, like
there are still certain standards you can do.
There's workarounds.
Yeah, people still wear a hijab. If they wanted to, they could wear a habit. Things like that. To where absolutely there are plenty of religious people. Now this one is unique because it's not very common.
I don't think it's a religious thing.
Oh.
This is what makes me mad. Is I think these parents want to use their kids to get whatever fucking money they can based on this bullshit claim.
Oh, I got you. And moderator added.
Are you adding IQ as a moderator?
What? No, me? What? Huh?
Yes, you are.
Would never.
Yes.
IQ is a good friend of ours, mine personally, and a good friend of the show as well.
I dig IQ.
But yeah, Corpus Christi, man, that place is pretty fucked up. Like in general. What's wrong with your town?
So many fucking things.
Yeah.
So we've talked about See You at the Pole before, right?
Oh yeah, I used to do See You at the Pole.
I did too.
When I was younger, I used to lead that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like...
Have you seen the picture of me in the yearbook at See You at the Pole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's odd seeing my girlfriend as a teenager. Like...
Why?
I have to look at you a certain way, and then I can't. You know what I mean?
You can't...
Like, I would have dated you. Weird. You know what I mean?
Would
Like...
Would 18-year-old Nathaniel have been into 14-year-old Susan?
I don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm looking now, and I'm like, well, I still would have... I definitely, Jesus freak Nathaniel have been like, hey... I was 17, by the way, when I graduated, so there.
Well, but you were...
Look, nobody wants to know this math. Quiet down.
Because you graduated, what, in 2000?
2001.
2001.
Yeah. You're, what, 06?
I was 05.
Oh, yeah, you were there. You're fine.
I was...
Nope.
My first...
Nope,
No.
I just did math on my fingers. Fingers and toes, folks.
You graduated when I was 14.
Our age gap is okay, right? You're in your 30s. I'm in my 30s. We're okay, right?
We're past the age where that matters. It's like unicorn farts.
I think it is.
That's awesome.
It is odd seeing you in a yearbook, though.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, you're like, look at me doing sign language, and I'm like, oh, Susan was a child.
You're all like, you were 15 in that photo.
Yep.
And I had black hair. No, I was 16, because I had black hair. And wore all black.
Yeah, you can't tell.
Much like now.
Yeah, you're wearing all black today.
Yes, I am.
And your headphones are brown and black and white.
Yeah, they're
very nice headphones, by the way.
I like these headphones. Anyway, so that whole thing just makes me mad.
Yep.
I am calling into question the legitimacy of their religious claim. I don't legit believe that it's a religious thing. And I think it's just these parents wanting to get whatever they can and using their children as pawns.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
What?
That would not be the first time
I thought you said that would, and I was all like...
It's the first time in the history of the planet that parents have used their children to get money.
For personal gain.
Yeah, was that kid's name Honey Boo Boo?
Oh, yeah, her mom is not doing well, apparently, according to Facebook.
Oh.
I don't know. I never
I hope
watched the
she's
show.
Okay.
So... We've got time for probably these three. I never wrote notes
really
on
quickly.
The last one. So, once again, Catholics are under the impression that any sort of criticism can be perceived as bigotry. So, Gail Gordon Donegan was recently appointed to serve on the Virginia Council on Women, which is a state council that is focused on women's issues, of course.
Makes sense.
And unsurprisingly, Donegan has posted things on Twitter that are somewhat controversial.
No.
Now, here's the thing. Donegan is a self-professed atheist.
I like to hear that.
She's like, I will preface that with, I'll preface this whole thing with, she has said on the record, I'm an atheist. My father spent a long time in Catholic schools being abused.
Oh. Well, that's not a good reason to be an atheist, but okay.
Well, no. It's just they both have to do with the things that she said that were controversial.
Oh, got it.
So, but instead of posting things like hot takes on the new Taylor Swift album, Donegan used her 140 characters to criticize the Catholic Church and the fact that they rape children. And I mean, run-of-the-mill things for anyone who doesn't have their head at their ass, but of course Catholics are pissed. Bishops Michael Burbridge of the Arlington Diocese, not this Arlington, and Barry Nestout of the Richmond Diocese called on the governor to rescind Donegan's appointment in a letter to Catholics in the state. The letter said, we expect anyone appointed to a council, board, or commission for the Commonwealth to be respectful of all faith groups and civil in his or her public comments. Her statements are offensive to Catholics and our faith. And, okay, so at this point you're probably asking what the fuck she said.
Yeah, this is important.
This is important. So this article that came from Washington Examiner specifically pulled out 2 tweets. One of them, Donegan tweeted in 2010, which I wouldn't have tweeted, but I will still laugh at. Uh-oh. Abortion is morally indefensible to Catholic priests because it results in fewer children to rape.
Jesus.
Right?
Wow.
I mean, that's one of those like, damn! But
yeah, that's yeah, I wouldn't say it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, there's a modicum of truth there.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's you get mad at that? Sorry for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's basic. Yeah.
That's like almost a spit take for me.
Yeah. So she also wrote a few years later, a doctor, a lawyer, and a priest are on the Titanic. The doctor said, save the children. The lawyer said, fuck the children. The priest said, is there time?
That's actually funny.
That is funny.
Spotlight's like, oh, it checks out for me. I believe there was a priest on the boat. Yes.
Yeah, the priest who shoved everybody out of the way in order to get on the lifeboats.
Yeah, and then died.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So
thank you, James Cameron.
Again, Catholics are pissed because they perceive anything that could be even somewhat a criticism, which, some things are a little harsher than others. But then at the same time, this was an appointment. This wasn't an elected office.
Exactly.
The way that I understand this is she didn't go in this with the idea of, I want to get appointed to something. Here, let me go and scrub everything. And besides, that's still part of who she is.
Yep.
She's still going to call out the Catholic Church.
Yeah. For
raping children.
Yeah, and covering it up, too.
Yeah.
Which we talk about almost every single episode.
Yeah.
So.
Because there's always new stuff with the Catholic Church raping children.
Yeah, it's not our fault. It was Sunday was talking about Guam, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, that's always fun.
Yep.
Moving on to New York, there is an all-boys high school called Yeshiva University High School in New York City. Yep. Its website describes the school as the preeminent Yeshiva High School for Boys for 100 years, and boasts, quote, a unique environment offering the resources of a university while retaining the warmth of a yeshiva high school. Now, however, it and Principal George Finkelstein are the subject of sexual abuse allegations that reportedly targeted family of Holocaust survivors from 1953 to 1992, and imploring said victims to, quote, not add to their parents' suffering by telling them about his assaults.
Whenever I first started reading this, I was like making an Ace Ventura Finkeln Einhorn joke.
Oh no.
And then, because of sexual assault and Finkeln Einhorn,
Yeah.
And then I was like, never mind.
Nope.
Because this is really fucked up.
Yeah, this is severely fucked up. In addition to Finkelstein, There's also a dorm counselor, rabbis, and teachers that are also the subjects of the lawsuit as alleged abusers. There are 38 plaintiffs in the lawsuit, which that's a lot of fucking people in one fucking lawsuit. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't see anything about it technically being class action, so, that's just a lot of people for a normal fucking lawsuit.
It is.
Yeah. So one former student named Barry Singer said, "These rabbis had such ultimate power in that school that the sense I had was that they could do anything they wanted to. There was no one to go to." Specific accusations in the lawsuit include negligent supervision, negligent retention, and negligent failure to provide a safe and secure environment. So, whenever we have cases like this, whether it is pertaining to physical abuse or sexual abuse or, emotional abuse or whatever, I hesitate to recount the instances that are cited in articles whenever they're talking about, this happened, this happened, this happened.
Yeah.
I hesitate to do that. I realize a lot of times you can, what's the phrase, speak truth to power or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that it's doing the right thing to our audience to have to be like, hey, just so you know, like, this is what we're going to be talking about, and we're going to be talking about it in great detail.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, and this sounds flippant, and I apologize, this is not meant to come off as flippant. I don't want to have to warn people about that stuff. In the sense that I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, like, this is, it's unfortunately far too frequent, but it's also something where it's like, it's on our show, it's just something that comes up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not our fault. Now, we do choose the articles, and sometimes we skip certain articles, but yeah, it truly is. It just happens to be what is in the news this week or recently, and what matters. And these kind of things, the clergy crimes thing really matters, because again, this is the height of the people, the trust that we put in these particular people. We put children in their care, and the details matter. That's the thing. No matter how much they hurt, because they do, no matter how much it might trigger somebody emotionally or physically, understandably so,
yeah,
it still matters, because knowing what these people are doing matters, because one of these days a religious person is going to watch this. I mean, maybe. And they're going to hear, and they're gonna like our show.
Yeah.
And they're gonna hear this stuff over and over and over, not because we want to continue bringing it up, but because it continues to come to light over and over and over and over. And I don't think we have a Buddhist yet, right? Like, we've got every other fucking religion. We meant to get like the thing where you can write them all down, right? The board. You can put the board in here, so we have, like, put it like over Stanley, I think. Like, all the religions, it's like, this is how many priests and rabbis and some sort of leadership in the clergy or something like that.
Yeah.
Buddhism, I think, is the only one so far that doesn't have anybody.
Yeah.
And that's because we probably just haven't looked far enough.
No, that's true.
And it's like, this is what it is, though. If you go to church and you are a young person, whether you are, especially if you're a young lady or if you are a child, you are at an incredible risk of physical assault, sexual assault, emotional abuse.
Yeah, being groomed.
Yeah, there emotional abuse exists in the church regardless.
Yeah.
That is
the entire basis of the church.
Feed on emotional abuse. But this type of stuff, it's every time, if you're a young person, you go into church, especially again if you are a child or you are a teenage girl,
Yeah.
You are at an incredible danger. And it's becoming more and more evident. So I think that if we chose to not bring it up, I think it'd be doing people a disservice.
Yeah. I think mostly with me, it's sort of like I don't want people to feel like they have to come in here and constantly be on their toes. Like, I don't want them to feel like I can't watch for the risk of being, being smacked in the face with something that they've been through.
And we wish that wasn't the case either.
Yeah.
Like we do.
But,
we like talking about the funny things that happen. And we like talking about, Ken Ham getting sued and shit like that. But the reality is that this stuff here is as you are aware, is all too real for millions of people.
Yeah.
The thing we just spoke about. Fucking Holocaust survivors.
Yeah.
There is no empathy in these people.
None.
And for us to choose not to talk about it would be doing the victims and you, if you have been a victim of this, a disservice.
Yeah. And
I know it hurts, but to ignore it would be doing a disservice.
Right. I agree. So we'll cover. Let's do one more.
One more, and that also means, by the way, all you clergy out there committing all them crimes and shit, we're not going to stop.
Yeah, we are not afraid of a bunch of Catholics getting pissed off at us.
Nope.
For being critical of your church and your improprieties.
Yep.
And that's putting it fucking lightly, your improprieties.
Yeah. Our channel might be kind of small right now, but it's going to grow. And as it does, more and more and more people are going to see this, not just as the spotlight was a real thing, but as an every fucking day thing.
Yep.
And they're going to see it all the time.
Yep.
Just so you know.
Truth. All right. Closing out tonight. Are you ordained by the Universal Life Church? Are you, actually? I don't know if you are.
I am not.
You're not?
No.
I don't think I ever got ordained. I'm 90% sure that I didn't.
Oh.
Because as many of you know, the Universal Life Church is that online church where you can go online and get ordained to solemnize marriages. Well, I have a note in here about Texas recently fucking over secular celebrants, which we didn't talk about before, which I do eventually want to talk about, but not right now.
We should have probably something on Sunday about that.
Yeah. So the Universal Life Church is suing 4 Tennessee county clerks and the state's attorney general in order to fight against a law that was recently passed that would bar ministers who receive their ordination online from solemnizing weddings. And of course, I think we all realize that this is a discriminatory practice because it is gatekeeping, saying that your method of practicing this, even though we know what it's for.
Yep.
We know.
Absolutely do.
But that doesn't change the fact that they're operating as a church.
Yep.
And that their reasoning behind this is saying that, the makeup of the church and their way of congregating is strictly online. Which, there's plenty of people who have online communities.
Yes, there are.
So, sitting there and saying that you're, it's not a real thing. But, fucking whatever. Stop doing that. So the lawsuit alleges that those in support of the law have narrow views of religion and how it can be practiced, and I think that's a perfectly sane assessment.
I agree.
I think that's a good assessment.
Yep.
They're They also say, the Universal Life Church also says that they look forward to the opportunity to usher them into the 21st century.
Which is perfect.
It's glorious.
Yep. Those are things that I say.
Yeah.
There's some folks like, I am happy to welcome you from the 1950s.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, if somebody wasn't able to get ordained online, then Ben Wyatt and Leslie Knope never would have gotten married.
It's true. This is a true fucking statement.
Yes.
Forget the fact that who married them. That's not really important.
Technically, it was Jerry, but still.
It was Jerry.
Yeah.
Gary.
Because
Larry.
his real name is Gary.
Larry
Gergich.
Gergich.
Gary.
Yeah.
Gary, Larry, Jerry, Terry.
Something else. Gergich.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good for him. He's a good guy.
Yeah. But yeah, this sort of points to, you know, they're gatekeeping how somebody can practice their religion.
Yeah.
They're saying your way of doing this is not the same as my way, so thus automatically it's invalid. And that's not a good argument.
Nope.
That's not a solid argument, and I don't think anything like that is going to hold up in court. I think Universal Life Church Ministries has a really solid case behind them. And I think it'll definitely be helpful to working towards, you know, because was it the Texas Supreme Court that tossed out the rule that ruled on secular celebrants with CFI? We did not cover that, so that'll. No. I'm sorry, that's another day. I keep wanting to relate everything back to that, but I keep forgetting that we didn't cover that. That is just one that I read. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll keep you updated on that one. I'll put like an alert for Universal Life Church Ministries up there. So, yep. All right. Do you have anything that you want to mention before?
No. We got some things to talk about on your sister now follows the dogs.
Yay!
On Twitter. You should follow the dogs too on Twitter.
My sister's funny.
As well as somebody said, because I did I tagged you in that, so you can read that right now.
Oh, yay.
But something about Leslie Knope.
You did change it!
Oh, I did, yes.
Yay!
My new name on Twitter. I'm still Atheist Husker. That's important.
His display name now.
Display name now is the Holy Prophet of Jithpa.
Yay!
If you are listening right now and were not listening earlier in the show, go back and listen to the first 40 minutes because that was a lively conversation, and you will discover who Jithpa. You know, I don't think it cares who Jithpa is, what Jithpa is, why it's important that we honor Jithpa.
Yeah.
And that how I became to be Jithpa's sole prophet.
Wait, then what am I? The High Priestess of Jithpa?
We can ask Shannon Q what your name is.
No, because she's just the Church of Sexual Humanism.
That is true. I'm going to ask Jithpa and find out. But that's my name on the Twitters now.
Yay!
And we would appreciate some Jithpa drawings.
Yes, if you want to draw your interpretation of Jithpa, you can email it to us at divinedisbelief@gmail.com. If you'd like to send in your tithings for Jithpa, it is patreon.com/divinedisbelief. You can also follow the prophet and high priestess of Jithpa at Divine Disbelief on Twitter. You can follow me solely at Motel Cowboy. You can follow Nathaniel himself at Atheist Husker.
Yeah.
You can follow the Corgis, Dose Corgis 15. You can also follow Nathaniel's candidate Twitter. He is at Walters for Texas.
Yeah. And if you plan on making the fan art and creating an image of Jithpa, you have to go back and listen to the first 40 minutes of this episode.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're not going to know.
You have to know Jithpa's every intention.
Yep. But that is about it, I think. for us today. We're going to be back on Sunday night, 8:15 or 8:30. Let's call it 8:30.
Yeah, let's do 8:30.
Yeah, sounds more... Because, honestly, I'm not getting out. There's like 7:30, 7:45 anyways.
Yeah, and I got to drive from Dallas.
I don't.
I do.
Yeah, you're coming... That's right. That's the 1st, isn't it?
Yeah, the 1st and the 8th.
Yep. Nebraska plays on Saturday. Nebraska football.
Woo.
They're playing on Saturday. I believe Nebraska volleyball is also playing this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So there is that. Nebraska volleyball, of course. 4 times did Nebraska in a row have the Huskers advance to the NCAA volleyball Final Four. They 2 times became the national champion, sweeping that team in Austin and then beating Florida 3-1. One time they lost in the Final Four in the semifinal. And then, of course, they last year
lost in the finals.
Somehow. There's a lot to come from that, but still ranked number 2 in the preseason. So
nice.
Lots to come from that.
Just behind Stanford, huh?
Yep.
We discussed that.
Stanford
I guessed that, actually.
Yeah, Stanford's a very good team.
Well, I was very proud of myself for guessing that and remembering who they played.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Yep. But I think that is it for us. We're back on Sunday nights. We might have a guest host. We might not. Who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. That's it, right?
I think that's it. Y'all have a good night.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Thanks, IQ, for everything.
Bye.